Liberty versus Dream. Two of the best teams in the W roll into Sunday with 21 combined wins. But the public is falling hard for a trap. 74% of bets on ATL plus 3. But New York still has the edge. Let's break down why. Welcome back to the Split Labs channel, your home for sharp data, betting insights, and public fade opportunities in the WNBA and beyond. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and check the link in the description to access our full betting board every day, all powered by real market data, not guesses. All right, let's get into our first game of the day. The New York Liberty taking on the Atlanta Dream. Tip-off at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now on paper, this one's a battle of two of the league's top teams. Liberty coming 11-4, Dream just behind at 10-6. But what's wild is how the public is betting it. A whopping 74% of bets are on Atlanta plus 3. And it gets even crazier. 65% of the money is backing the Dream to cover. That's a ton of love for the underdog. And whenever you see lopsided action like that, you gotta ask, are we walking into a trap? Because here's the thing. New York may only be pulling 26% of the bets, but they're getting a more respectable 35% of the money. Not overwhelming, but enough to suggest some sharps are quietly leaning Liberty. Now flip it to the money line. Liberty sit at minus 152, and they're pulling 53% of bets and 54% of the money. Atlanta at plus 124 with 47% of bets and 46% of money. Pretty balanced, but the model still gives New York a 58% win probability. So this line kind of feels like it's holding strong for a reason. And then there's the total set at 167. Here's where things get really interesting. 57% of bets are on the over, but 60% of the money is on the under. That's a textbook sharp setup right there. Public chases points, sharps fade it. When the cash outweighs the tickets and it's on the contrarian side, that's a signal. So what's the play? We're seeing a slight lean toward Liberty minus 3, just based on the mismatch between bet percent and actual line movement. But the strongest edge here? The under. That split, 40% of bets versus 60% of the money, tells us big bettors expect this game to slow down. Watch for value there. So if you're tailing this one, don't blindly ride with the public. Look where the sharp money is flowing. Real quick, if you're into breakdowns like this, you'll love what we've got going on at splitlabs.net. We track public betting splits across every sport. NBA, MLB, NFL, you name it. Plus matchup insights, team rankings, and even prop predictors to help you spot edges before the lines move. This isn't just picks. It's the same data the books are using to set prices, and we make it easy to read and actually use. You can try it free for 7 days, and if you like it, use code YouTube for 50% off your first month. No BS, no sportsbook affiliation, just clean, transparent data for smarter betting. All right, back to the breakdown. Next up on the board, Chicago Sky versus Los Angeles Sparks. Now look, neither team has been lighting it up this season. Chicago sits at 4-11, LA just one game better at 5-11. But you'd think the Sparks were title contenders with how the public's betting this one. 74% of bets are on LA minus 8, and even more of the money, a huge 79%, is riding on them to cover. That's a massive amount of action on a team that's only won 5 games. And it gets even heavier on the money line. LA at negative 350 is pulling 66% of bets and 76% of the money. So what's that tell us? Public bettors are all in on the Sparks handling business here. But are they overconfident? Because the Sky are getting plus 8 and only 26% of bets and 21% of money are touching that number. Meaning no one wants to back Chicago, even with the points. Let's talk totals now. The line is set at 169.5, and this one flips the narrative. 65% of the money is actually on the over, but just 48% of bets are there. So in this case, the bigger bettors are expecting points. That's a quiet, sharp lean on the over 169.5. Not super loud, but worth watching. So what's the read? This is a major public smash on LA, but not necessarily a sharp one. The spread hasn't moved much despite that lopsided action, and that can be a red flag. There is a lean toward over 169.5, with some smart money riding the total more than the side. If you're looking to fade the public here, Chicago plus 8 could be the sneaky sharp play. Or just target the over and stay out of the mess entirely. Either way, tread carefully. These bottom feeder matchups are where the books feast on public confidence. Now listen, and I know what you're thinking. Chicago just beat this team by double digits, and now they're plus 8 in the rematch? That makes no sense on paper, right? And honestly, you're right to question that. It is weird. The books are telling us something here, and maybe they're expecting a letdown from the sky, or maybe they're daring the public to take the bait after that last win. But here's the difference. The public is hammering the sparks. 74% of bets, 79% of the money, like nothing even happened. Meanwhile, Chicago plus 8 is still undervalued, especially if Cardozo and Reese play anywhere close to last game's level. So while yes, the line's fishy, we're not just blindly fading steam or chasing last game's result. We're riding with the sharp indicators, low ticket percent, lower money percent, and a spot where the books might be overestimating LA's bounce back. Think of this less as Chicago is better and more like Chicago doesn't need to win, they just need to hang around. And if they do, we cash the plus 8. All right, last one on the board, and it's a big one out west. The Las Vegas Aces head to Phoenix to take on the red-hot Mercury. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. Eastern. Now on paper, this feels like a mismatch. Phoenix is 12-4, they've won 6 straight, and they already beat Vegas 2 weeks ago. But here's the twist. Despite all that, the public is hammering Vegas. 71% of spread bets are on Aces plus 7, and 72% of the money too. Everyone's expecting A'ja Wilson and company to keep this close, or maybe even pull the upset. And to be fair, A'ja is back, and she's still elite. But let's be honest, this is not the same dominant Aces squad we're used to. They're barely above .500, and they've looked shaky even in wins. Meanwhile, Phoenix is finally healthy. Kalia Copper just returned and has looked sharp, slotting in with Sabali and Alyssa Thomas to form one of the most complete trios in the league. And they've been rolling, wins over Seattle, New York, Connecticut. This isn't a soft streak. They're beating playoff caliber teams. So why is everyone suddenly on Vegas? Simple. Recency bias. People see Vegas plus 7 and can't resist grabbing the points, especially with A'ja back in the lineup. But this feels like a setup. A little too easy. And the market shows that, despite all that public love for the Aces, the line isn't budging. That's usually a sign that odds makers aren't scared. They're comfortable taking on that Vegas action. Now let's talk total. It's set at 168, and this one's lopsided the other way. Only 15% of bets are on the over, but a whopping 72% of the money is on the under. That is a massive sharp lean, suggesting a slower-paced defense-first kind of game. And honestly, that tracks. The Mercury have tightened things up defensively, and the Aces, for all their talent, haven't been putting up huge numbers consistently. So here's the read. Phoenix minus 7 might feel like a trap, but with everyone fading them and no movement, that's usually a green light. Under 168 is getting heavy smart money, and the matchup leans toward a grinded-out game. If you're fading the public tonight, it might be Mercury in the under. That wraps up the full WNBA slate for Sunday. 3 games, 3 breakdowns, and plenty of sharp angles to work with. If you want more data like this every day for the entire slate, betting splits, public fades, prop insights, hit up splitlabs.net and follow us across socials. And if you like the breakdown, drop a like, smash subscribe, and let us know who you're riding with in the comments below. Let's cash this board.